Alrighty, welcome back. We are going to go ahead and take a look at Lesson 3.1 Assignment Conditionals and Counterexamples today. So, all you have to do is you go to the modules page and then you click on the assignment, scroll down, you should click on the assignment link, and then it should take you to a Google Doc. So make sure you go to the AISD portal, you should click on that, and then once you click on that, type IXL in the search bar. Then it should say welcome your name. So let's take a look at the third part of the instructions. This assignment is composed of two parts. Complete the two IXL assignments over identifying the hypothesis and conclusion and counterexamples to receive full credit. When done, take a full screenshot of part 1 and 2 with your name and SMART score. So let's go ahead and click on the link. So you don't necessarily need to go directly to the IXL to find the assignment. All you have to do is just click on the links and then it should direct you to the assignment where you are signed in. Okay? So let's take a look at this. What is the conclusion in this conditional statement? If I am at a baseball game during dinner time, then I eat a hot dog for dinner. So there are two things that compose a conditional statement. One, the hypothesis, which is the stuff after the word if, and the conclusion, which is the stuff after the word then. So if I say what is the conclusion, I gotta look at the stuff after the word then, which is I eat a hot dog for dinner. So that is the conclusion for this conditional statement. And then what is the hypothesis in this conditional statement? So it's the stuff after the word if. So if Tyrone is going to a job interview, then he must want a new job. So it's Tyrone is going to a job interview. Click on that, hit submit. And then what is the hypothesis in this conditional statement? If Brenna crosses the toll bridge, then she needs to pay the toll. So hypothesis should be the stuff after the word if, so it's this one. Okay? And then this one should be Lamar cleans it. Okay, so this one's a little different because there's no if and then. What is the conclusion in this conditional statement? Assuming a shape has three sides, it is a triangle, in which I can rewrite this saying if a shape has three sides, then it is a triangle. What is the hypothesis in this conditional statement? A quadrilateral has no right angles, therefore it is not a rectangle. So it would be, if I rewrite this, if a quadrilateral has no right angles, then it is not a rectangle. If a quadrilateral has no right angles, right, that's the if. So it would be this one. Okay, and I'm already at 75. What is the conclusion in the conditional statement? Trevor received a raise, therefore he pays more in income taxes. So it's like saying if Trevor received a raise, then income taxes. So I'm looking for the conclusion. This is the then, this is the conclusion. He pays more in income taxes. Okay, wow, I still gotta keep on going. What is the hypothesis in the conditional statement? If it's raining outside, then I need an umbrella. And this one's pretty straightforward, so it should be this one. If it's raining outside. Okay, and I hit 81, I can stop there. Then I go back to the instructions, and I should click on part 2. So now I need to talk about counterexamples, right? This is the second part of this assignment. If a rectangle has a perimeter of 20, then its area is 24. So when we're trying to figure out the counterexample in this case, we have to assume that the hypothesis is true or almost always true, but the stuff after the word then or the conclusion itself, it's either true or false. And when it comes to this, when it comes to these IXLs, or this particular IXL, we have to come up with a counterexample to disprove the conclusion. Which of the following is a counterexample for this conditional statement? Okay. If a student is an athlete, then he or she is thin. So, we have to assume that the student is an athlete, but we can disprove that they are thin. So, let's take a look. Rita, who is a chess player and is not thin, well, if we're talking about like chess, that can be competitive, but I don't know, right? We live in this world that this could be like a sport now. I think, I don't know anymore, but we're just gonna assume no, this is not, not part of this. Billy, who is a wrestler and is not thin. Okay, wrestling is an athletic sport, and Billy is not thin. So this is essentially a counterexample. Tanvi, who is a soccer player and is thin. Well, we're trying to prove a counterexample, and this would make the sentence true, which is not what we want. So it's definitely this. Billy, who is a wrestler and is not thin. Okay. Which of the following is a counterexample for this conditional statement? If a pet is small, then it's a kitten. So we can assume that the pet is small, but does it have to be a kitten? I mean, okay, I don't even know why this is here, but that's really funny. This is literally this: a golden retriever, a goldfish. Here, that's pretty small, and it can be a pet. So I'll click on that one. Which of the following is a counterexample for the conditional statement? If a sport involves hitting a ball, then it requires a racket. If I'm hitting the ball, do I really need a racket here? Okay, this sport, skiing, does not involve a ball at all. Boxing does not involve a ball. I need someone that involves a ball. Volleyball. Okay, that's good, because I don't really need a racket. I can just use my hands to play volleyball. So this is a great counterexample. If a person has a headache, then he or she is dehydrated. Duncan, who does not have a headache. Ellen, who has a headache because she is dehydrated. That's literally this. You're trying to provide a counterexample where this is true, but this can be false. Jeremiah, who is dehydrated but does not have a headache. Okay, that's not, we have to assume that the person has a headache. Monica, who has a headache because she has a cold. Okay, so the person has a headache, which we can assume true. The hypothesis is true, but can I disprove this, the conclusion? Yes, with this one. Which of the following is a counterexample for this conditional statement? If a container can hold water, then it is glass. Okay, the container has to hold water, but does it necessarily have to be a glass? It can be a bottle. If a sport usually involves a helmet, then the sport is bicycling. Do you necessarily, if you're wearing a sport, are you strictly bicycling? You can play football. When you play football, that requires a helmet, right? If a beverage is generally served hot, then it is coffee. Well, what about hot chocolate? If a polygon has more than 4 sides, then it is a pentagon. Now, a pentagon has 5 sides, but there are more than just a pentagon, right? I can name a hexagon, octagon, anything with the word, or anything with the with gon as the, I think it's called a suffix. So it would be this one, an octagon. Which of the following is a counterexample for the conditional statement? If a person is good at math, then he or she is an engineer. I mean, Amy, who is good at math and is a hockey coach. Still, a man who is not good at math. We have to assume that the person is good at math, so it can't be this one. Amy, who is good at math. Okay, yes, that's what we want. Does it imply that he or she is an engineer? No, they can be a hockey coach. Okay, and I think that's going to be enough for me today. Essentially, what you have to do is you're trying to get an 80. So if you get an 80 and you submit the first IXL and the second IXL related to conditionals and counterexamples, take a screenshot and upload it to Blind.